Hi Taurus, welcome to your September and October 2017 Prosperity Report. It's Raina here. So I do these periodically. I have a lot of fun with them because it focuses on material resources and your attitudes towards them. Before I begin this reading, I'm going to quote from this book by Esther and Jerry Hicks. And Jerry has passed now, but asking is given. You know, The Secret. Where do you think The Secret comes from? Abraham Hicks. So this is kind of like a similar quote to what I just did with Capricorn, but that was from Jack Canfield. But this is to what are you giving your attention? Whatever you're giving your attention to causes you to emit a vibration. And the vibration that you offer equal your asking, which equals your point of attraction. Now, did that make sense? Here's what they say further. If there is something you desire that you currently do not have, you need only put your attention upon it, and by the law of attraction, it will come to you. For as you think about this thing or experience that you desire, you offer a vibration, and then by law, that very thing or experience must come to you. However, if there is something that you desire that you currently do not have, and you put your attention upon your current state of not having it, then the law of attraction will continue to match that not having it vibration. So you will continue to not have that which you desire. It is law. Now, I always feel that there are no absolutes, okay? I'm not the type of person who just believes something 100%. I think that sometimes you get things that you don't really, ask for in a very deliberate way. And even when you deny the possibility of something, I feel like sometimes you do get it. But I think the general gist of what they are saying is absolutely true. And of course, who knows? Maybe on a subtler level, you are asking for that very thing. Maybe it's just that I'm looking at it from a more outward viewpoint. But let's just forget about how accurate this is. Let's just assume that the more that you notice lack in your life, the more that it's very difficult for you to attract anything but more of the same. I've certainly experienced it in my life. And the way, what do you do about that? Well, the first thing I think that you do is you notice the things that you have, and that you really do learn to appreciate the things that you have in this moment. And sometimes for people who live in a country like America, or like even in Europe, in Western European countries, it might take you to go somewhere where there are people that have a much lower standard of living, where you can fully embrace this, because it's easy to live among people who have so much and feel that you have so much less than they do, because you're noticing that contrast. But really, for many people of the world, they are living on much less money. I think it's something like $2 a day. And this is, I'm assuming that's US dollars, but whatever. It's like unbelievable. And yes, their cost of living is a lot less, but let's face it, many of the people that are watching this have lifestyles that are quite abundant in comparison to others on this planet. And it really is important to see the good in your life, in all areas of your life. And this is no exception. So that's the end of my lecture, okay? And I'm hoping when I say these things, this is not just a lecture. I'm hoping that it does inspire you in some way. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick 3 tarot cards, past, present, future, and that's a simple spread. And then we're going to have 3 oracle cards. How does that sound, Taurus? I can put these a little bit in the middle here. And I was just saying with Capricorn, I was picking Doreen Virtue's, what do they call the Ascended Masters deck? And I said, you know, she has decided to distance herself from the archangels now that, you know, she created that deck. But I said, I'm going to continue to use it. And I picked this card, and it was from my, what is it called? The Oracle, the Keepers of the Light, this one. And I was thinking, well, that might be a sign that I should be using this deck. So I'm going to pick a card for you from that deck. Oh, interesting. I got Hilarion, Divine Healing. Very interesting. And you might even need healing when it comes to issues surrounding money for some reason. I believe a lot of people are like that in many different ways. You know, if you grow up with this feeling that you don't have enough, you know, in basic needs for whatever reason, that can, in adulthood, it can even lead to hoarding because of that survival consciousness, where you just think that you have to have enough just in case, and you always like have too much that it can be suffocating. Interesting. Attachment. This was, boy, is this interesting. This is from the, what do they call this deck? Sandra Ann Taylor. I'm going to pull this back. Yeah. So this one, I'm glad I'm getting some use out of these oracle decks. Okay. And then the third one will be the Wisdom of the Oracle. I just love talking about the back of these cards. I think the design is so cool. Oh, this is a good one. Milk and Honey. I think that's a real good one for abundance. Okay, so let's start with the tarot. So we have in the past position the Hangman card. Now, currently we are experiencing Mercury retrograde, as you know. Oh, well, what's interesting for Taurus is that your 5th house is Virgo, and that's where the Mercury retrograde began, and it's now in the 4th house of home and family. Or it will be. I mean, I don't know if it's gone back into Leo yet, but it will be pretty soon. Mercury goes direct on September 5th, and of course some people will be watching after that date, so that point might not be important for some people, but something has kept you in a state of limbo in the past. And it could have been you were waiting for a certain job and you were hoping that you got it or whatnot. Now this is the past position because the present is this card, which is the 3 of Swords. That could be a feeling of heartbreak, like you did not get what you wanted. So maybe you were expecting to have a certain job. Maybe you were looking for a certain client that never came through. And you were maybe you're putting all your eggs into one basket of some situation. And it didn't happen. Just remember, Taurus, that if something doesn't happen, there are two ways of looking at it. First off is that perhaps the timing wasn't right, and that maybe you were expecting things to happen too quickly. Now, if this was a job offer that you ended up not getting, that, you know, I was just thinking about my own life. I can't tell you how many applications, how many resumes that I submitted. I was just looking, I can't remember, I was looking at something that gave like kind of a history of some of the things I sent out, and it was like nothing. And I started doing things on YouTube. It didn't happen right away, but then it started to gel. So sometimes the universe will close a bunch of doors until you wander into the one that's right for you. So never feel like because you were waiting for something that didn't pan out, that it means that, oh, well, I'm toast. No, there's something waiting for you, And when you step through that door, that portal, your life will just start to gel. I guarantee you. But it might take you being more flexible because you are a fixed sign and you may have your heart set on certain things and your mind may be very rigid about it has to be this way. And that's where you have to get out of your own way and not have those kind of expectations. For the future, we have the Knight of Wands. I always associate this card with Aries. It's supposed to be Sagittarius, but if we look at it, maybe this is timing. So either the full moon in Aries, which will be happening on October 12th, that might be significant for you in terms of some sort of career or money coming in, or in Sagittarius, and that might even be more likely because Sagittarius is your 6th house, I think. Am I correct about that? That's probably not true because your 7th house, actually Sagittarius is your 8th house. So let's see, could this be something, well, if this is, you know, this could have been something related to an inheritance too. That's the 8th house. And I do have Taurus rising, so I did have a situation like that where I was waiting, and it didn't come out the way I wanted it to. Now, but this could be a situation where it emboldens you actually. And so you may go out and do something for yourself and where it's almost like you are taking the bull by the horns. Pardon the pun, since you are the bull. This card is a fire energy, so there's an assertive quality to it. But the Knight is also this, sometimes the Knight can be kind of chaotic where he doesn't do things by the book. You know, he's like his own man, right? So you may decide to do something more independent, and that may work out very well for you. So don't think that you can only do one thing. That's the important thing out of all of this. So let's look at some of these oracle cards to give further enhanced ability. Now, I already said this is Hilarion Divine Healing. Honor your sensitivity. Retreat to recharge and heal. Your light can support others. That's good. Let me look at the booklet that this came with, because maybe for some people they've been trying to make things happen too much on the outer, and they haven't just given it. You know, this card is about letting go and letting God. Hilarion is a spiritual master who lived in the Middle East during the 4th century. At the age of 15, he felt the call to go to the retreat of St. Anthony in the Egyptian desert. This was busy with people needing healing, so after a while, he went back home with some monks. During that time, his parents passed away, and it is said that Hilarion was so devoted to service, he gave all of their estate to his brothers and the poor. That sounds like St. Francis of Assisi. I don't know if I'm confused about that. For the rest of his life, he lived as a hermit in a cave and was said to perform miracles with his prayers and touch. To this day, he is dedicated to healing, but he also helps spiritual people who feel overly sensitive to overcome their challenges and integrate with the normal world. I want to say something, because I did have this thought to say this, and sometimes I kind of like don't go with things, and I should. When I saw the word healing, I was thinking maybe that is something you need to do too as a career. Maybe you need to be an energy healer, Taurus. Reiki, shamanic healing. Shamanic healing, I think, would appeal to a lot of Taurians because there's that earth element, okay? This is the extended message. The world can seem overwhelming to you, and it's okay to retreat to a safe space every now and then. Oh, gosh. I don't think that the phrase safe space, I've heard way too much, but I know what they mean. every now and then to cleanse and recharge your energy. I would say rather than safe space, I would say tranquil space. You may feel called to serve others or share your healing with them, but please ensure that you are filled with light, love, and energy first, so that you're not sacrificing your own development for others. You are surrounded by the healing light of Hilarion and the healing angels at this time, so that you can recharge and feel whole. And I don't know if I said this to your sign in the past, but you know, you can find retreat centers. I know in America, I can't say about the rest of the world, but I assume so, where it's like a nominal fee and you can go into the countryside. So if you live like in where a lot of us live, where there's concentrations of people, go someplace that's very peaceful, where there's nature, and just have that time. You know, a lot of people go on these fancy vacations and they spend thousands of dollars, and they may, I mean, you know, if it's something that is where you see historical sites and stuff like that, I could see, but something that's just self-indulgent, this is something that nourishes your soul. So you might want to think about that. And you direct it. It's not, I'm not saying that you have to have somebody tell you what to do, when to meditate and stuff like that, although that could be, you know, fulfilling too. But just something that doesn't cost that much money and that can really recharge your batteries. Might be a great way to go. So the next one is attachment. I was drawn to this card. I love the illustration. I don't know if this is a new camera, but it's kind of doing staticky things because this is nightlight. So I'm hoping that it doesn't show up in this recording. Okay, so attachment, and this is, oh, I think this is the Sandra Ann Taylor deck, so let's see what it says. It says number 5. Perceived need and the choice to let go. In the upright position, this card reveals that your passage forward is being stopped by strong attachments to old patterns or people from the past. The chain at your wrist is bolted to fear from the past. Is there a chain on her? Oh yeah, there is. From the past or desperation about the future. Although you may wear the mask of pretense or even contentment, you simply cannot seem to go forward. The stuff that's keeping you stuck could be physical addictions, emotional patterns, or even old relationships. Are you living in fear, addicted to old unhealthy habits, or so desperate about the future that you can't be happy now? If so, the chains that bind you could be of your own making. This card is telling you that it's time to take the to take the action you need to break out of your chains and to move forward to an open, free, healthy, and authentically happy life. It may take some courage and effort to let go, but know that you're capable of doing it. Until you do, the difficult energy will just repeat itself, keeping you stuck. And for sure, Taurus is a fixed sign. You can get into ruts. And I would even add excessive shopping and things like that, because Taurus, you rule the second house of earned income and possessions. Do not allow your possessions to possess you, and that you're just surrounded by things that you don't need, and then you also are draining your finances by buying new things for that rush, of that momentary rush of having things, okay? And the last card is Milk and Honey, and as I said, I've picked that card before for different signs, and it's a really, I think it's a good abundance card. So let me see how this one goes. The taste of prosperity. Well, this is the meaning of this reading, so it's a great way to end. Opportunities born of authenticity, nurturing abundance, trusting that your needs will be met. The Oracle's message: you've entered a sweet time in your life, enjoying the land of milk and honey that everyone wants to experience. It's an interlude that feels more languid than ambitious, when all of your senses are awake, to the unlimited possibilities in the universe. These times are precious and only come when you're in your authentic zone, wearing the world as a loose garment. That's a quote. Not wanting, yet able to be nourished in ways both tangible and subtle. Abundance is an energy that you are a living part of. All your needs are being met. You are given the gift of nourishment in every form. The prosperity message is there is only one authentic you. This version of yourself is Spirit's emissary in the world. When you're in alignment with the truth that you are a unique expression of the divine, your ego can rest and your soul can illuminate your purpose. Now is the time when you're seeking your true north. When you find this direction, you automatically step into prosperity and the world brings you evidence of abundance. Miracles are a choice and a way of seeing the world. With every choice you make right now, you have the potential to seize good fortune and embrace your destiny. Opportunities will lead you to your best life now. Be open to them. You're getting a sweet taste of what you want. Whoa. Well, that is a great way to end this reading, Taurus. So I hope that you have gotten something from this. At the very least, some inspiration. If you want a more personalized reading where I do look at your natal chart, which is the cosmic blueprint for you in this lifetime, and see, I have like, for this type of reading, I have like career readings, I have life path readings, which combine career and the, well, actually, I think I pretty much have consolidated that, which I decided to do because I feel that they're important to acknowledge both sides of that part of the journey. But I also have combination with love readings. That's what I meant to say. For people that are interested in both sides of life, I guess. And I have natal chart interpretations. I've got a lot of different stuff. You can go to rainandmoonastrology.com. The link is below. But I do wish you a beautiful beginning of fall in the Northern Hemisphere and spring in the Southern Hemisphere. Take care, you guys. Bye.